Well, we huffed and we puffed, but we couldn't break down the German wall. And just like that drum in the away end, that was annoying as f***. The Dortmund match, folks, coming up, Newcastle fans, so make sure you stick around if you want to. Guten Tag, Newcastle fans. Or should I start with, we are the champions? I can't do it. I'll let Joe Linton do the honours. He's absolutely smashed it last season. Without further ado, Mr. Joe Linton to start this video off.
Champions! Champions!
Oh, never get sick of hearing that awfully pitched voice coming from that Brazilian. Welcome back to Black White Banter, Newcastle fans. Anyway, it is Champions League match day 3. Oh, it never gets old. It's grimy outside. The sky is grey. It's just stopped raining. It's not the nicest of nights. I've had a long day at work, but I'm about to head over to St James's Park for another night. I've got no doubt, no matter what the scoreline will be absolutely memorable. Because don't forget, Newcastle fans, you don't know when these days and these European nights might come along again. Just because we've been taken over, you've got to absorb every single moment. But with the favourites, and I'm fully expecting us to have too much in the locker for Dortmund tonight. Yes, there's been a lot of matches back to back here and there, and you know, we are riding this wave of momentum, and I've got no doubts about it. It will come to an end at some point, because we're not going to win every football match, as nice as it would be. But I don't see that stopping anytime soon, and it's the factors tonight, like the crowd, the atmosphere, the flag display, those celebrations that people were saying were a tin pot club mentality, celebrating slide tackles and celebrating charging someone down to get the ball back, is exactly what makes nights like tonight so special. Newcastle fans, if you are new to Black White Banter, drop down, give us a little likey loo. Whack that subscribe. I'd love to do a little bit more German on this video, but I don't know very much. I'll have to touch up on it before I go over to Dortmund for a couple of steins and some bratwurst sausages.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.
So, without further ado, I'm going to get myself over to Newcastle. I'm going to get amongst it, see whether there's any Dortmund fans kicking about. Actually, they are quite a friendly bunch, the Germans, when I've visited for a couple of cheeky beers on my travels in the past. So I'm going to get over there, see what's kicking about, hopefully get a pint in hand and soak up Champions League match day 3. How are you, lads? Right, I've just landed in the Toon, if you can't see behind us. The atmosphere's starting to pick up and you just get that feeling. Despite it pissing down with rain, another Champions League night is on the horizon. I'm not even used to being over this early, but I have to come over early for these ones. Things are starting to pick up, and unfortunately, I've banged into a familiar face on my travels. I emphasise the word unfortunately. It is the one, the only. It's the call dog. He's reappearing, and he's got a very nice hat on. If you just want to pull your head a little bit closer,
cost us a fortune.
Think that looks like
freebie.
Think that looks like a Black and White banner.
It is not as good as this, like.
It's not as good as the hoodie, but the less said about the hoodie, the better. Colin, confident tonight?
Do you know, I've been analysing this a little bit, and I think realistically another 4 points should put us through to the next round, which it's not unreasonable to say that we won't win here tonight. I think it's been a hard game, a really hard game for many different reasons. I think they'll come and want to attack us, which is what we really need, and we'll get these on the break tonight, and I can see this just being a 1-0 win.
I said 2-0.
Yeah, well, I don't see this being a big scoreline. I love the way we break down teams. I love the way our attacking right from the back. It's been amazing. But these play a very similar style, so it's going to be nice to watch.
I don't think these will come out the way PSG did. The PSG were the most attacking teams we'll probably play, and I think that worked to our advantage. I think Dortmund will be a little bit more reserved.
I think you could be right there. This won't be a 4-1. I'll say that straight away, but I seriously think this. I think between the two of us, one of us is going to be right tonight, 1-0 or 2-0.
Hey, as long as there's 3 points in the board, who cares?
4 more points for me, and we're through to the next round, and that's a huge shout. But let's be honest, you look at all the other teams, and this was the table of death. And you look at the others. I mean, unfortunately, I watched 10 minutes of that rubbish last night, and it was rubbish. And to how we play, I'm actually looking forward to this, but I can't wait to go down to Man United and batter them.
There's a lot of juicy games coming up. We're both backing a win. I think we're going to go and sink a pint now. The queues for Shearer's Bar are an absolute nightmare. We're going to try and go and sink a pint before we go in the stadium. Hopefully digital ticketing doesn't do me over on waiting to get in for ages. But Eddie Howe's Mags are back in the Champions League, and it looks like we could be getting a step closer to qualification for the knockout stages. How are we doing? Come on! Just sank a pint in Shearer's Bar, and my God, does it feel good that the match is getting a little bit closer. But, of course, it's that time again. I'm not going to do them on the match previews anymore. It's time for a little bit of black and white banter. Stats. To kick things off and get us really in the mood, Borussia Dortmund have lost their last 6 away games against English sides. The last time they won was at Spurs in 2016. Fingers crossed that's the last 7 away matches against English sides in about 2 hours from me saying these words. Newcastle and the absolutely class team that we are have actually got the second highest shot conversion in this season's Champions League. And Dortmund, who we playing tonight, have actually had 18 more shot attempts than us, but yet their percentage is a lot lower. When Eddie Howe's Mags are flying and they try and hit the target, we normally hit the target. Hopefully that percentage at the end of this match is a little bit higher. But certainly not least, and this is the one I don't really want to jinx things with, Newcastle have never actually played Dortmund before. This is the first ever time, but we have never lost in European competition against the German side. That is one that I really didn't know whether to say out loud in case I jinx it. If I did, do not blame Black and White Banter Stats. But hey, thanks for tuning in to some more very, very factual, very, very informative Black and White Banter Stats. Right, enough of the stats. Let's get up to St James's Park and wait for them teams to come in. Team news has just dropped literally before I go up the steps to see where the digital ticket and gives me a nice German sausage up the backside and makes me late for the match. He's gone with Joe Linton. I didn't know whether he was going to go with Tonali. Obviously, we don't know what's going on in Tonali's head. Tonali is actually on the bench. That suspension hasn't come into play. Joe Linton, I was just a little bit concerned he might not be fully match sharp, but he did get a good game in against Palace in what was quite a routine game. Botman hasn't made it as we didn't think he would, so Lascelles is back in. And he's gone with Almiron on the right hand side. I might have gone with Murphy after 2 assists and a goal on Saturday, but I'm still relatively happy. Almiron's done the business against PSG. We know he's going to be full of running. You know he'll be full of endeavour. He'll be looking for them passes to be spread from Bruno and Longstaff in them little pockets and work with Trippier on that right hand side. And apart from that, it's pretty much as you'd expect. Little rant, now I'm in the stadium and I've got a pint in my hand. Digital ticketing is not working. I've just stood for 20 minutes almost trying to get into the ground. I don't know why. Do the fans not have their ticket ready? Are the phones not working? Are they too busy sending emails? For whatever reason, there's pile-ups and there's going to be loads of fans who are finishing a pint, which is fair enough, who are not going to see the start of the match because it just isn't working. It's starting to really do my head in. Anyway, I've got an overpriced flat pint, not very long to drink it. Champions League music is on the horizon. I'm going to get up them beautiful concrete steps, take it all in, and just enjoy every moment. Let's get into these from the first whistle, especially now one of their best players isn't playing, and get 3 points and almost get out of this group of death. Cannot wait. Away the Mags. Time to walk up them steps again. Half time, I've just sunk my pint. Not really the first half we were expecting at all, to be totally honest with you. A little bit disappointing. Dortmund have been the better team, let's face it. I cannot deny that they have. They could have maybe been 3-0 up. Every time Dortmund went forward, they overran us and we looked really, really exposed. Even down our right hand side with Trippier, we were really exposed. Nick Pope's kept us in it at times. we just haven't had that Christmas. We haven't had that zip in the pass. We've still had the aggression, the intensity. We started the first 5 or 6 minutes quite well, but generally speaking, we haven't really seen what we've seen in previous matches at St James's Park. And Dortmund, I didn't think there were going to be any mugs. I think a lot of Newcastle fans did. They've started really, really well. They started the game well, and that just carried on. We didn't really get hold of the ball. We didn't soak up possession like I would have liked to hope we did, to really put them under and make them shit the pants early on. Wilson going off's a loss. Isak's already going off's a loss. I really thought he would have Hummels on toast because of his pace and Hummels' age, but Wilson's not a bad replacement at all. Anthony Gordon, great chance for him when Isak ran through. The goal, not great. I've watched it back at half time over a pint. He's got a lot of space. It's a good finish into the bottom corner, but again we were exposed. On to the second half we go. We've got lots of players to come off the bench. Murphy, you've got Tonali, he's in there. There is players who can come on and change things for us, and I do expect a better second half. Eddie Howe won't be happy with that. You know he won't. None of us really were, because it really caught us off by guard. But Borussia Dortmund and no mugs. I tell you what though, that drum that's being whacked in that away end, fucking hell. What steward let that drum in? It is so annoying. On to the second half we go. Even a point in the scheme of things to say that we've already got 4 would not be a bad result, but fingers crossed we can really step it up. Come on! Right, I'm joined by Jeff and Rob. I've just collared them. It's died down a little bit outside the stadium now. Whoa, depend. I'll maybe get you the cheapest they do. Gentlemen, what went wrong tonight?
A great deal. Thought we played all right.
That's team
Dortmund's a good team.
So you were relatively happy still, obviously, despite
I think, but from PSG, but I think we've done all right. Considering where we were with ruthless and where we are now.
To be honest, I've heard a lot of negativity in the stadium now. I quite like that first answer, to be totally honest with you.
People forgot where we came from, you know. I mean, we're doing all right, so.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. What do you think we were maybe lacking, if something, tonight?
Just a bit in the midfield. I think Sean had a bad game, and I think Joe's not up to speed yet.
Yeah,
I
thought he got more minutes than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's match fit. So probably I wouldn't have played. I wouldn't have started with them. I'd start with Murphy.
I said exactly the same. You read my mind, and I actually with these.
Murphy had a great game against Palace. I don't know how he was dropped.
Yeah,
and I think Tonali maybe he's early on with his Champions League experience, but other than that, played well.
And yourself, sir?
I'll agree with you.
That's always the easiest answer. Would you?
We're getting a strawberry now.
That's enough from you, gents. Can we get a result over in Dortmund before you go?
It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
A good team.
We need to tilt our drums.
Oh God, I was going to ask you what you thought of them drums.
We need to have the headphones on.
Honestly, are you going to Dortmund?
No, I'm not going.
No, my wife says I'm coming.
Oh, I tell you what.
I'm going to Australia to watch the cricket, though.
You're not doing too bad then. Right, I'll meet you for a pint I'm going to buy you. Right, full time, just come out the stadium. I am joined once again by, probably not as happy a call dog as,
I don't know. I think, well, one loss, one win and one draw in the Champions League. If you would have took that at this point in the Champions League, I think every one of us would. You look at that game today, and I think me and you chatted before we got on here, and I think you're absolutely spot on. Best defensive team that's been here. I think you are right. I'm not going to be a bitter and twisted fan and complain about the ref, but some of his decision making tonight on free kicks, etc., and it was just diabolical in some cases. I often wonder who referees the referees. Overall, did we deserve anything? First off, absolutely not. Second half, I'm not going to pick any players out because I think it's very cruel to do that. Overall, I'd like to think we could have scored. We had a couple of really good chances, but slightly the better team won tonight. Definitely.
Yeah, I think based off how they did in the first half and their defensive performance in the second, That's probably just about right. But then, we hit the crossbar a couple of times.
If 3 times.
Was it 3 times?
3 times.
If Lady Luck was shining down.
Right.
Right.
I think if Lady Luck had been shining as there was the last one that hit the crossbar would have went in.
It bounced, didn't it?
But they actually defend very similar to us, where they throw everybody in, and that's what was good to watch. But are we going to get anything out there? I think Eddie's got to change his tactics slightly. There were some players just didn't seem up for it, and it's Champions League. No, can't be too disappointed.
No. On to Wolves, Man United, Dortmund again, Arsenal we go. Staying positive, lots of negativity in that stadium tonight, which frustrates me a little bit. Hey, that's all I like to hear. Black white banter shower. Oh, almost fell over actually. I hope I got that one on video, mind. Yeah, on to the next match we go. On to Wolves we go on Saturday. Staying positive, Colin, staying positive.
I'm looking forward to going down to the game. I genuinely am. Not going to do any predictions for the Wolves.
No, we won't do predictions now.
I just want to go down and see a decent game, come bouncing back from this and show what we're about. But I think for Wolves, this is a massive game as much as it is for us. They're playing okay this season. They're not a rubbishy side of it.
Plenty reasons to still be positive. Go in the land. I'm not in the usual spot tonight with the strawberry behind because, well, I do like making match vlogs, but I don't like getting absolutely soaking wet. And the weather just adds a little bit of insult to injury to that result. I'm certainly not going to get negative about that one. I'm not. We played tonight, in my opinion, one of the most organised, best defences that I have seen come to St James's Park for many, many months. Really, they were good. And I'm not one of my match vlogs to big up opposition. I just thought every ball we chucked into the box, they were solid as that came straight back to where it came from. They were organised in numbers, those little triangles of football that we love to do between Almira and Longstaff Bruno. That didn't work tonight at all, and they were just really hard to break down. And we huffed and we puffed like the 3 little pigs, and we just could not break down that German wall. And yeah, first half, Borussia Dortmund, much better team, much better chances. They could have been 2 or 3-0 up if it hadn't been for Nick Pope, and obviously if they took their chances a little bit better. And we didn't really do very much in the first half. Yes, Anthony Gordon could have maybe done better. Then on to the second half, you're hoping that Eddie Howe gets them in, has that word with them, tells them that they weren't very good enough, but they weren't that good, which they'll have already known, but actually does something about it, and we come out a bit better. We did. We had all of the ball in the second half. Dortmund were penned in, but they probably had a game plan. You try and break us down, and we'll take this 1-0 lead all day. And that's basically what happened. That is pretty much what happened in the second half. On another day, if Lady Luck was shining down, we hit the crossbar once from the set piece, we hit the crossbar when it bounces, and Lady Luck might have done us a couple of favours. So I'm certainly not disheartened. Where do I think things went wrong a little bit tonight? I thought midfield tonight was just a little bit lacklustre. Joe Linton, this is going to be an unpopular opinion possibly, since the start of the season with the injury in the middle aside, I do not think we've seen the same Joe Linton, who by the way has been one of my favourite Newcastle players in the last year. He's playing a little bit more rigid, a little bit more defensive. He's not getting up and down that left-hand side, and he just looks a little bit out of sorts. And I say a little bit, I don't mean he's been god-awful. I just mean, I'm not saying we're losing a player in there. I don't know. He's off. And I was worried about him coming in tonight because he was still getting back from match fitness with the Palace game. And I don't think he was at the races. I would have gone with Jacob Murphy. Almiron didn't do much wrong. He didn't have an opportunity to get forward and use his pace and get a shot off like he likes to. But I just thought even Sean Longstaff wasn't really at it tonight. Bruno was penned in a little bit. He wasn't in and around the box as much as we'd like to see. And I just think, midfield, I don't think we lost out to their midfield. I just don't think we offered enough to that front 3 from the midfield. And we really did struggle to break them down. I thought Isak going off early was a massive loss. I said before, Matt Hummels would have preferred to play against Callum Wilson. Matt Hummels is not of an age where he can keep up with a tricky, pacey striker. Callum Wilson is not slow by any means, but I just think that suited them a little bit more. But again, on another night, we could have scored a goal. And if you look at Callum Wilson's chance in the second half, where he's just got to put it anywhere but the goalkeeper, we should have scored a goal tonight, and we could have got a point tonight. But let's break this down a little bit closer to home with regards to the group. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat from 3 matches against 3 of the best teams in Europe in the group of death. It's not a bad thing to think at all. St James's Park is still a fortress. We just came up against a very organised, very structured team, and we weren't really at the races. The fast pass and that intensity that we talked about, that Newcastle chokehold that so many teams get put under here and cannot cope with, like PSG couldn't, wasn't overly there tonight. It wasn't there like we know it can be. The players will know that. We probably didn't get Anthony Gordon involved as much as we would have liked. Callum Wilson didn't really have a sniff in the second half for all of the ball that we had. And again, we've got AC Milan to come, we've got Dortmund. The best thing about this, like I said, Eddie Howe will be watching this match. He will know. He'll be studying because we've got them again in 2 weeks for part 2 of this 2-legged game, back-to-back games against the same opposition. It'll be a different kettle of fish in Dortmund, us playing away from home, but we now know how they might set up and what we've got to do. But fair play to the Germans, I've got to say that. Apart from that bloody drum they were playing, my God. Stewards, I don't think any Newcastle stewards are watching this. If you are, never ever, if you are working on the away end, let a drum in again. My God, I don't think I've ever wanted earplugs in a football match. That guy must have arms the size of Popeye, who's smashing that for 90 minutes. They made a lot of noise. They were without one of their best players in Brand, who I thought might have worked in our favour, and they still managed to get over the line. Pending in the second half, and they were just so good defensively. But again, I'm going to go back to the statement that we could have scored goals on another day. I'm staying positive. There's lots of negativity swirls around St James's Park so quickly when things aren't quite going amazingly like maybe what we've become used to more recently, and it frustrates me a little bit. Moans and groans and screams of players. But yeah, I'm staying positive. Wolves to come, Man United away in the Cup to come, Dortmund away to come. Lots of positives, maybe not a standout performance from anyone tonight, but on another day, that ball would have hit the back of the net. I think we're going to get out of this Champions League group, and that's all that matters. How we do it is another conversation altogether. Milan to come at home. God, we've got PSG away, we've got Dortmund away, lots of opportunities to get points, and let's hope that our form isn't stopped by that defeat tonight. We can take it into Wolves, the momentum that we've been building before this. One thing I'm just going to say before I finish this video, I got 3 notifications tonight about YouTube videos being uploaded about Dortmund and Newcastle fans fighting in the street. I honestly wish that YouTube did not pay money, because I don't know about anyone else. I'm not saying my videos are incredible, but I get so sick of the clickbait shite from YouTubers just to get views, to get more money on YouTube. It drives me insane. Newcastle and Dortmund fans fight. This'll get us views. People upload it before they come to the match tonight. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts below. Maybe that's just me. Each to their own. People can upload what they want. A lot of people won't like my stuff, but I just wanted to finish that because it was on my mind. Newcastle fans, stay positive, keep the faith. On to Wolves we go. On to Man United away in the Cup we go. On to Dortmund away for some Steins and some Bratwurst German sausages we go. And things could be a lot worse. I still believe we're going to get out of this group. Let me know in the comments whether you do. And obviously, whack that like, whack that subscribe if you've liked this short match vlog, because nobody would speak to me because it's pissing down with rain. Away Eddie Howe's mags, things are still pretty rosy in the garden.